Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we have a video for you on how we sealed our concrete floors and our metal building. And so we just finished this 40 by 75 foot metal building, and we have a video from start to finish on the entire build process that I'll link here for you. And if you haven't seen it, definitely go check that out. But one of the big projects, well, the first project that we had in this building was to seal the floors. So when the building was getting erected, we had a forklift here on site, and it was driving around on our concrete floor and making a ton of scuff marks, and of course it leaked oil everywhere. And so when we got our building ready for us, it was a bit disappointing to come in and see that our brand new concrete floors, which we had invested a lot of money in, were already kind of messed up because they had tons of scuff marks and oil stains everywhere. So my husband and I set out to find a way to clean it up and make sure that it was sealed for future use. And I will say my husband did probably 95% of it. I was here for moral and emotional support. So shout out to him for getting all this done because it was a lot of work. So I guess our three things that we wanted to accomplish with this is that we wanted a sealer that was durable, that we could do ourselves, and was also cost effective. And as you know, we're going to be using this barn for trucks and cars, and of course if we get a little bit of oil on the floors, we want to be able to clean up quickly. And we'll probably also have events here, and so we might have food and someone spills food everywhere. We didn't want it to be an issue where we were constantly cleaning up or worried that something was going to spill. So that was kind of our first reason why we wanted to get the floors sealed. So the first thing that we did to try and get the scuff marks and oil stains off from the forklift that was on the concrete, so we used our pressure washer and we tried to pressure wash the scuff marks off, and it worked. It kind of worked, but it really didn't do that great of a job. And so we tried to use a driveway and a concrete stain remover with the pressure washer, and that did absolutely nothing. It was a total waste of time and effort. Once we realized that power washing was not an effective way to get rid of the scuff marks and oil stains on the floor, we decided to look at different sealers. So in the world of sealers, there are two that are really popular that people use, and there's acrylic and penetrating. So acrylic sealers, they're not quite as durable. They last about 5 to 10 years, and some of them don't have the same oleophobic properties that penetrating sealers have. And that didn't really check our box for durability, so we looked into the penetrating sealers. And penetrating sealers will probably last the entire lifetime of this metal building, so that check mark, that's durable. And they're also oleophobic, so if we spill oil, we'll be able to wipe it up and it would not leave a stain. Once we decided we wanted a penetrating sealer, my husband started researching a ton of different options and found a guy on YouTube named Chad Howe with CDP Sealer. We got in contact with him and told him about what we wanted, and his product checked all the boxes for us. It was durable, we could do it ourselves, and it was pretty cost effective. It cost about $1,500 for us to seal our entire 3,000 square foot barn. So that was really good in our book, and we decided to go with that. So here's how we applied it. Okay, the first step in our floor sealing project was to get a floor scrubber, or some people call it a floor maintainer. We actually got this off of Craigslist. It wasn't too expensive, it was about $100, but it was really interesting. We bought this from an 80-year-old woman who lived in the area, and she used this to clean her 7,000 square foot house that had terrazzo flooring throughout. So that's pretty crazy. I cannot believe she did this herself because it does take a little bit of work to push this around, so good for her. And then we have different scrubbers that come with it. This is the black scrubber, and this is the coarsest one that you can get. So the first thing that we did was we took this black scrubber and we put water on our floors, and we used that to scrub the floors and get all the dirt off of it. And it actually worked really well in getting the scuff marks off, so that was good. And basically we're left with this slurry, which is a bunch of concrete dust and dirt. So we took our vacuum and vacuumed up all the extra slurry, and then now we can start with the sealing. So we use these pump up weed sprayers here. The big one we used for the SF sealer, and the small one we used for the oleophobic. And we took sections of the floor. We first sprayed it with the SF sealer and used a white pad, which is for polishing. Let it dry, and then we used the smaller pump for the oleophobic, sprayed it on, used a white pad, and that's how we got the floors to seal. Chad has a ton of videos on his YouTube on how to apply the sealer, and I'll link his YouTube here so you can go check it out if you want more specific information. But his resources are really good if you want to check those out. With this sealer, it's absolutely imperative that you get the floor completely clean. That was a huge key for us when putting this sealer down. So when we were using the wet method on our floors and we had the black pad with the water and cleaning off the concrete, it left that slurry, and I guess my husband had accidentally stepped in some, and so when we used the sealer, his footprints actually came up on top of the concrete, and you could see his footprints on the concrete. So we called Chad because we were having some problems with this, and he recommended that we use a dry method. So on the last third of the barn, we used this floor scrubber with a black pad and scrubbed it dry. Of course, we used a respirator because it was definitely really dusty, and we used the black pad, scrubbed it dry, swept up the dust afterward until we felt like the black pad was doing a good job. Then we finished off, well, we used the white pad for polishing, used that, swept it up, and then we used a microfiber mop to clean up the rest of the dirt. So we felt like, okay, yes, this is totally clean, it's ready for sealer. So we put the sealer on and it worked really well. Of course, you might use the wet method and it works really well for you, or maybe the dry method works the best, but that's the success that we had, and if we had to go back, we probably would have used the dry method on the entire barn. That worked out really well for us. So on the 2/3 of the barn that we used the wet method, we had some problem areas. My husband went back with a flat disc on an angle grinder and sanded down those problem areas, cleaned it up, and then we put the sealer and it fixed all those problems. So it turned out really good after we did that. So our floors are definitely not showroom quality, but they're really nice for what we're going to use here. Of course, they still have some hydration cracks, but this is a really nice floor, and we're really happy with how it turned out. Of course, this is going to be durable. We'll be able to clean up any stains or oil marks, and we could do it ourselves. It was definitely a big project and undertaking, and we went through some trial and errors, but we're really happy with how it turned out. So thank you guys for tuning in to our how we sealed our metal building floors. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all again next time.